Forget everything you think you know. These words mark the beginning of a journey that transformed Stephen Strange from an arrogant surgeon into Earth's Sorcerer Supreme. From unlocking ancient mysteries in Kamar-Taj to standing against the infinite power of Dormammu, Doctor Strange's story is one of ambition, sacrifice, and a relentless battle to protect the multiverse. In this video, we'll explore how a single man's quest for healing became a cosmic struggle against forces beyond imagination, shaping him into one of the Marvel Universe's greatest defenders. The rise and fall of Stephen Strange. Stephen Strange was a man who had everything: brilliance, wealth, and a reputation as one of the world's greatest neurosurgeons. His precision in the operating room was legendary, saving lives where others saw no hope. But beneath the accolades and luxury was a man consumed by pride. To Strange, success wasn't just about helping others. It was a way to fuel his ego and maintain his image as the unrivaled genius. His charm and wit masked his arrogance, and he relished the admiration of his peers and the power his skill afforded him. But fate had other plans. One fateful night, speeding along a dark, winding road in his luxury car, Stephen Strange's life changed forever. A horrific accident left his hands shattered, their once steady precision replaced by tremors and scars. For the first time, the brilliant Doctor Strange found himself helpless. His identity, his very sense of self, was rooted in his hands, and their loss sent him spiraling into despair. What was a man without the one thing that made him special? Strange couldn't accept it. He refused to let go of the life he had built, clinging to the hope that his hands could somehow be restored. Obsessed with regaining what he had lost, Strange spent every penny he had on experimental surgeries and treatments. He consulted the world's best doctors, only to be met with failure after failure. The man who once stood as a beacon of confidence and capability was now a shadow of himself, angry, bitter, and hopeless. Friends and colleagues drifted away as his obsession consumed him. Even Christine Palmer, a close companion who had once admired his brilliance, struggled to stand by him as he pushed everyone away in his pursuit of an impossible dream. When modern medicine failed him, Strange turned to the impossible. A desperate whisper of hope came in the form of a patient who had once been paralyzed but was now mysteriously healed. This patient spoke of a place far from the reach of traditional science, Kamar-Taj. With nothing left to lose, Strange embarked on a journey to Nepal, his arrogance clashing with his desperation as he sought out answers in a realm he had always dismissed as superstition. What he found there was beyond anything he could have imagined, a gateway to a world of mysticism and boundless power, where the limits of the physical world faded away. But for Stephen Strange, the path to this new world would demand something he had never been willing to give: humility. Unlocking the mystical world. When Stephen Strange arrived at Kamar-Taj, he expected a miraculous cure, a shortcut to fixing his broken hands and reclaiming his former life. What he found instead was a mystery that challenged everything he thought he knew about reality. His first encounter with the Ancient One, the enigmatic master of Kamar-Taj, was as humbling as it was transformative. She didn't offer him sympathy or reassurance. Instead, she shattered his arrogance with a single act, showing him the multiverse. The moment was nothing short of earth-shattering. In a vivid and terrifying display, Strange's consciousness was hurled across dimensions, experiencing realities he could never have fathomed. He saw the infinite possibilities of existence and felt, for the first time, how small and insignificant he truly was. "Forget everything you think you know," the Ancient One told him, and in that moment, he realized how narrow his view of the world had been. But humility wasn't something Strange embraced easily. Initially, he resisted the teachings of Kamar-Taj. His scientific mind clashed with the mysticism around him, dismissing it as illusions or trickery. Yet deep inside, he was intrigued. The Ancient One's power was undeniable, and for all his skepticism, Strange couldn't deny his yearning to learn. He wasn't just seeking a cure anymore. He was beginning to crave the knowledge and power that the mystic arts promised. As his training began, Strange faced a steep learning curve. His hands, still trembling and scarred, made it difficult to perform even the simplest spells. But what he lacked in physical ability, he made up for with determination and intellect. His photographic memory, once used to master complex medical procedures, now allowed him to devour ancient texts and learn the intricate patterns of magical sigils. With each small success, his understanding grew, and so did his respect for the vast, mysterious world he had entered. Under the guidance of the Ancient One and her disciple, Mordo, Strange began to grasp the foundations of magic. He learned to harness energy from other dimensions, to create portals with the sling ring, and to defend himself with the powerful shields of seraphim. Yet, even as he advanced, his ambition occasionally led him astray. Strange was still Stephen Strange, driven, ambitious, and sometimes reckless. He often questioned questioned the Ancient One's methods and sought answers to forbidden questions, much to Mordo's disapproval. The deeper Strange delved into the mystic arts, the more he began to understand that the power he sought came with responsibility. Magic wasn't just a tool, it was a force that could shape or destroy entire realities. The Ancient One's teachings emphasized balance, reminding him that the mystical world wasn't about ego or control, but about protecting the natural order. Still, Strange's journey was far from complete. As he learned more about the world of magic, he also began to uncover secrets about his mentors and about the dark forces lurking just beyond the veil of reality. The man who once sought only to heal his hands was now being prepared for a much greater purpose, one he had yet to fully understand. Facing darkness and destiny. As Stephen Strange progressed in his mystical training, he found himself drawn into a battle that tested not only his growing powers, but also his character. Caecilius, a rogue disciple of the Ancient One, had betrayed Camartage, seeking to harness forbidden power from the Dark Dimension. He believed that Dormammu, the ruler of this dark realm, could grant eternal life by erasing the boundaries of time itself. To Caecilius, this was liberation. To Strange, it was chaos waiting to consume reality. The clash came when Caecilius attacked one of the Earth's sanctums, mystical fortresses that shielded the world from interdimensional threats. Strange, still a novice in the ways of magic, was forced to defend the sanctum against the zealots. Armed with only a sling ring and his growing wits, he used the enchanted cloak of levitation to survive the encounter. It was a trial by fire, and though Strange emerged victorious, the battle left him shaken. He realized that the stakes of his newfound role extended far beyond his personal struggles. This was not merely a fight of good versus evil. Strange began to see shades of gray within the mystical order. The Ancient One, revered as a paragon of wisdom, harbored a controversial secret. She had tapped into the Dark Dimension's power to extend her own life. While her intentions were noble, protecting the Earth, this revelation shattered Strange's faith in her. It also deepened the divide between him and Mordo, who viewed such actions as an unforgivable betrayal of their principles. Despite these doubts, Strange's ingenuity and adaptability set him apart. Where others saw limitations, he saw opportunities. His approach to magic defied convention, blending logic with instinct in ways that even his mentors hadn't anticipated. Yet, with every spell he learned, Strange understood that power was not an end, but a means to protect those who could not protect themselves. Caecilius's growing threat forced Strange to rise beyond his self-doubt. He wasn't just a student anymore. He was becoming a protector of Earth. But as the shadow of Dormammu loomed closer, Strange knew that his greatest challenge was still ahead, a battle that would test not just his strength, but his willingness to sacrifice everything for the greater good. The battle for the multiverse. The threat of Caecilius grew as he and his zealots continued their relentless mission to dismantle the barriers protecting Earth. With two sanctums already fallen, the final stronghold in Hong Kong became the last line of defense against Dormammu's dark power. For Stephen Strange, this was no longer just a lesson in magic. It was a fight to safeguard the entire multiverse. The Ancient One confronted Caecilius and his followers in a desperate bid to protect the Hong Kong sanctum. Though her power was immense, her reliance on energy from the Dark Dimension was her undoing. Caecilius exposed her secret during their battle, causing Mordo's trust in her to collapse completely. The Ancient One suffered a mortal wound, and as she lay dying, she imparted a final lesson to Strange. She reminded him that true mastery of the mystic arts wasn't about power or perfection. It was about embracing his role in the grand tapestry of life, even if it meant making the ultimate sacrifice. With the Ancient One gone, the responsibility of defending the sanctum fell to Strange and Mordo. The two, though divided by conflicting ideologies, fought side by side against Caecilius's forces. Strange's innovative use of the time stone, hidden within the eye of Agamotto, became their greatest advantage. By manipulating time itself, Strange managed to repair the damage caused by Caecilius and momentarily hold back the encroaching Dark Dimension. But Strange understood that fighting Caecilius was only a temporary solution. The real threat was Dormammu, whose arrival seemed inevitable. Realizing that brute force would be futile against a being of such immense power, Strange devised a bold plan. Armed with his growing mastery of the Time Stone, he prepared to confront Dormammu directly, a move that defied both logic and fear. The battle for the multiverse had reached its tipping point. Strange was no longer the man who sought only to heal his hands or reclaim his former glory. He had become something far greater, a guardian of reality, ready to face the unimaginable for the sake of all existence. The bargain that changed everything. As Dormammu's Dark Dimension began consuming Earth, Strange made the ultimate gamble. Using the Time Stone, he transported himself into the heart of the Dark Dimension to confront Dormammu directly. The colossal entity, a swirling mass of malevolent energy, dismissed Strange as insignificant, mocking his audacity to challenge a being of such infinite power. But Strange wasn't there to fight, at least not in the traditional sense. He used the Time Stone to create a time loop, trapping himself and Dormammu in a perpetual cycle. Every time Dormammu killed Strange, the loop reset, forcing the dark entity to relive the encounter over and over. For Dormammu, a timeless being who had never experienced limitations, the loop was torture. Strange endured countless deaths with a singular purpose: to protect Earth by forcing Dormammu into submission. At first, Dormammu resisted, raining destruction upon Strange in a futile attempt to escape the loop, but each death brought Strange back, more resolute than before. In this endless stalemate, Dormammu realized that the only way to free himself was to bargain. Strange demanded that Dormammu and his forces leave Earth and take Caecilius and the Zealots with him. With no other choice, Dormammu accepted the terms and withdrew, restoring balance to Earth. With the immediate threat gone, Strange returned to the Sanctum, but the victory came at a cost. Mordo, disillusioned by the Ancient One's betrayal and Strange's manipulation of natural laws, abandoned Camartage. For Mordo, the use of forbidden powers, even for good, was a line that should never be crossed. He left, vowing that the world would suffer for the recklessness of those who bent reality to their will. Despite the rift with Mordo, Strange had fully embraced his new role as the Sorcerer Supreme. He took his place in the New York Sanctum, protecting Earth from mystical threats and safeguarding the balance of the multiverse. The man who once sought only to heal his hands had become a selfless guardian, willing to sacrifice everything for the greater good. As the cloak of levitation settled on his shoulders and the eye of Agamotto glowed faintly in his grasp, Strange looked out at the world he had sworn to protect. His journey from arrogance to humility, from self-interest to sacrifice, had reshaped him into a hero unlike any other. And though the road ahead was uncertain, one thing was clear: Doctor Strange was ready for whatever came next. And there you have it, Doctor Strange's incredible journey from a broken man to a protector of the multiverse. A path filled with personal sacrifices, powerful revelations, and mind-bending battles against forces beyond comprehension. This isn't just a story of magic. It's about resilience, responsibility, and the courage to stand up when the world needs you most. Stay tuned for more insights from Star Life.